Hello. So, this reading is going to be about ways to improve our authenticity. I say our because I'm probably gonna have to listen to this for myself too. But as we are shedding all of the untruths in our lives, there may be something that's ready for you to look at in yourself. And so basically that's what this is. It's not a way to shame or blame or say you're doing anything wrong. The time that we become more authentic on a topic is the time that we're meant to. So it's just a way to say, you know, where can we put some focus on to shift out of a pattern or whatever, you know? A pattern of coping that's keeping us from our authenticity. So the name of the reading I think is going to be like, how can you improve, in what way can you improve your authenticity? And it's going to be pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, and pick 5. You want to take a deep breath. It's a timeless, general reading. So use your own intuition to decide if one or more of these has a message for you. The timestamps will be below. And if you're interested in a personal reading, my website is listed below. If you like the video, consider liking it. If you don't like the video, consider disliking it. Feel free to give me comments or feedback. I'm open to it. And this is going to be a particularly vulnerable reading for me because I didn't really know what we were going to do for a reading until I sat down here to do it. And then Spirit told me. And then I saw these with all my cards. And these are actually years worth of notes. And it's not all the years worth, it's maybe just like a couple years worth or something. At different periods of time when I took notes in my healing journey. So I'm going to use these as an oracle as well. So we'll pull some of those for each pile. And we're going to get started with pick number 1. Pick number 1. I wish that we could keep this in view, but it's just not possible at this time. Okay, so I'm going to put it over there. And pick 1. In what way can you improve your authenticity? In what way can you improve your authenticity? Let's see. How do we want to do this, Spirit? They're like, just start with your index cards. Okay then. Just gonna need to take this binder clip off this stack. And I'm just gonna cut them randomly. Well, not so randomly will it be. Just like they're an oracle deck. Oh, here we go. Oh, well, isn't this interesting? Because this is one of the cards here, and I think it's the only one that I did not write. You'll see it has my name. This is not my writing. And this is not my writing. And I've kept this because it means something to me. It's very sentimental to me. It's, see, I have tears coming to the back of my eyes when I think about who made this for me. Who wrote this for me. It's my niece. And she wrote, Julie is a popular Latin first name, which originally comes from the Latin Julia, which could mean youthful, soft-haired, beautiful, or vivacious. It is the feminine form of Julius, and can be a pet form of Julia or Juliet. And as you see, I'm being interrupted, so I'm going to need to pause you for a moment. You'll see that I'm teary, so I guess I'll collect myself in the process, and then we'll talk about all of this. One moment, please. Okay, so the knock at my door was just annoying because they kept knocking instead of waiting a moment, right? And it's just somebody who doesn't have the comprehension available to them to understand that you need to give people a minute. But so there may be something like that where you're being distracted, right, from sentiment. You're being pulled away and distracted from sentiment, and it may be you doing it, right? Because in our reading here, like, I got pulled away, and I'm not usually distracted from sentiment. In fact, you saw me continue on in my reading while my door was knocking. Like, that didn't matter to me, right? But that disturbance pressed on. And so what I got was the picture of maybe, like, at times when sentiment is being revisited or visited, or is there in front of you, you may be distracting from it. Like, you may, like, be like one of those people who are kind of like, oh, well, I gotta go do this now, or, well, let me get busy on this, or let's turn the TV on, or let me check my phone, or, you know, maybe it makes you uncomfortable, right? Okay. Yeah, and so that's okay, right? This isn't like to shame you or blame you or say you're doing it wrong or anything like that. This is just to recognize that there's a reason for that. When you want to avoid sentiment, you may just be a person who doesn't enjoy sentiment and doesn't want to indulge in sentiment, and that's all fine. But if that were the only case, then you wouldn't be uncomfortable by it. You would be able to let people have it. I thought something was in my hair, but it's my hair tie. You'd be able to let people have the sentiment without it bothering you, with, you know, just showing them, having compassion for them in their moment of sappiness, you know? So, now the reason why, so you may feel like, oh, well, it's authentic for me to avoid it because I don't like it. But the thing is that authenticity goes deeper than our coping mechanisms. Our coping mechanisms, our ego structure is there to protect us from having to feel or deal with something that we've chosen or deemed something that we don't want to feel or deal with. And beneath that is our authenticity. Beneath our coping mechanisms is our authenticity. So we're going to go with, it's a bit of avoidance of sentimentality. Maybe it's painful to revisit memories, you know, because there's been a lot of loss. There's been a lot of loss of the things and people that you love. Okay, this is interesting. What I have here... Okay, and I'm being interrupted again, wow. What I have here is... This is a tally that I kept. See, it says page 18. And it's on both sides. The other side's page 19. And it's like disempowered and empowered. And I've kept a tally. Now, I don't remember what this is, to be honest. I guess I didn't want to write in a certain book, right? So I put it on a card, and it's like keeping score. It's like keeping score. It's relating in a transaction. It's relating in power plays, right? Because this is disempowered and empowered. So is what you're doing empowering to you or disempowering to you? Is it disempowering to you to have to leave a situation or feel uncomfortable when somebody's just expressing their sentimentality? Do you look down upon the people who do? Do you feel like it's a weakness? Has someone told you it was a weakness? Yeah, I felt like that was maybe part of it. This is weird. I can't show you this, but this is my ex-boyfriend's best friend's social security number. I don't even know why I would have this in this stack, and a phone number, which is also not my writing, so that's weird because remember I said that I thought that one other card was... His social security number and name is in my writing, and the other is in my ex's writing. And it's about a reference for an apartment or something. Center Harbor Neck, a cabin, and then a number. Yeah, a phone number. It says cabin, and then there's an address. And that's not in my writing, but so okay. Keeping tabs on people that it's none of your business. Like, I'm gonna throw this away. I have no business having this man's social security number. I don't even remember it, like, even if he was a reference, like, why? Maybe, oh, maybe my ex was, like, applying for an apartment with him or something, but it's in my writing. So maybe I just wrote it down for him when he was on the phone with him, or I don't know exactly. It's very weird. I don't recall anything like that. So it's like gathering information on people that isn't relevant to you, that isn't yours, that isn't meant for you. And since I'm continually getting messages, I am going to pause and just check and see if it's an emergency. Okay. So that wasn't an emergency. It was just a group chat that I'm a part of that it pertains to the care of my granddaughter. We have a group chat where we coordinate transportation. So there's a lot of logistical kind of stuff here. It's like your attention is everywhere but here, right? Okay. Here's the card that was next to be shown to me. Surrender the will, flow with life, take inspired action, let obsessions go, allow joy to emerge, add love to every situation. Fear equals add love. This is my writing, this is my note on about my life. And yeah, we had that let obsessions go, and it was kind of like collecting other people's information. You may have, like, there may be a place where you're delving deeply into something that you feel a little obsessive about, and it's taking you away from the inspired action. There's a lot of finger in every pie, you know? Okay. And it may just be the way that it was meant to be until now, right? It wasn't meant to be any other way, or it would have been. So this isn't a shame or blame. I just really want to stress that, okay? It's sensitive to talk about these things. Let's talk about it some more. Okay. Tell us about... Pick one in this situation, please, Spirit. Please tell us more about pick one in this situation. Like, maybe, like, what caused this? What caused this, Spirit? What caused this coping mechanism to emerge? Trying to keep the one-up on people in a way. You know, there was a need to do that in the past, in, like, maybe, like, the 80s. You know, like, but now we're kind of evolving, and people have to be sovereign to succeed in this new energy. Okay, hometown. It kind of reminds me, since we brought up my ex, it kind of reminds me like his family was kind of like keeping apprised of the townspeople all the time, and reputation was very important. So hometown, like your reputation and what you're known for has been really important to you. And you are a very caring person, and it's been overwhelming to be so caring and feel things so deeply. And like have all these feelings emerging, especially lately. You'd rather be in that more free energy, but you felt like you needed to have that one-up on people and be really rebellious and really free and really not follow the rules, and like, it's been easy for you to do that. I think you've gained a lot of wisdom through that and used your wisdom to guide yourself through it, and it's been very successful for you, I think. And I think it's just like, now is the time to get good with this other part. So I think they're just saying, like, that's just how you were built. That's just how you were. This is how you came to Earth to be. And that you have or are willing to adopt the growth mindset and to think about the things that you're devoted to. Think about your values. Think about the things that you've been cut off from due to the way you've been operating. And realize that you are in a position, because you have your own back, you've covered all your bases, you're in a position to do something in a new way now. Something where you can pay attention to the details and you can let yourself feel the deeper stuff. I think, let me get some clarity on this. Yeah, okay. I think there was a parting of ways with someone who had victimized you through your emotional connection. And as a coping mechanism, you didn't want to be emotionally connected. And so when someone gets sappy and nostalgic and stuff like that, you may get uncomfortable because you don't want to be pulled in emotionally. You don't want to be stuck emotionally. You want to be free. You don't want somebody to have that power over you and your emotions. And how, oh, it's so cruel, right? I'm sorry. I'm just tapped into your energy and I feel it, and I can relate. And it's very painful, right? To be betrayed by someone that you let yourself be seen so authentically and vulnerably by and to. And it makes sense to try to cope in a way that doesn't allow you to have to be vulnerable in that way again. So this is going to take accepting and allowing the part of you that wanted to cope that way, accepting and allowing the part of you that's fearful of that happening again, accepting and allowing and loving the part of you that felt that betrayal, that felt that pain. And I can tell you, it took me months of crying like I thought the tears would never stop when someone did that to me. But they did stop, you know? And I felt better. I felt more powerful, and I felt more free than I ever thought I was before, you know? So, like, even though there is an illusion in this coping mechanism that there's freedom, in actuality, it's limited in a way that you haven't quite understood yet, but will understand once you free yourself from the coping mechanism. There's no lack. There's no lack of feeling. You know that because it's been bubbling under the surface this whole time. You just didn't, that's why you had to avoid things, situations, and use distraction techniques to avoid the feeling. Drinking, smoking, anything like that. Eating, shopping, creating, working. Okay, so anything else we need to know about this spirit? You're being guided through this. You're gaining a lot of wisdom. This is wisdom that is going to be catchy in your energy wherever you go without even saying anything, but I think you will say things. I think you'll be able to see the darkness in people like you have not before. And maybe you have seen it before, but it'll just be so much easier to speak about it, and instead of trying to use it to your advantage and manipulate it. Does that make sense? Yeah. You are a very wise old soul, my friend. You have a team of guides with you, and you came in to go into that underbelly of the shadow of this and many other things, to look at all the details, to look at it from different angles. You've been guided and protected this whole time, you know, and so you have so much wisdom. You carry so much wisdom. And it's like, people need to see it. People need to know about it. You don't have to carry it silently, because, you know, if it will just elicit more attention and more people grabbing on your energy and more people that are sappy and feeling like victims and all that stuff, you know? You'll be strong enough because you won't be trying to avoid it. You'll stand in your strength and your wisdom, and you'll be able to shine a light on it for them and stand tall. That's it. That's all. That's all. This is your freedom, my friend. That's great. Wow. Well, this was very interesting for me. Is there anything else here, Spirit? I mean, I feel like it's pretty complete. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that's complete. Pick one. And thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this good work. Thank you for being this strong, big energy of wow. I heard rebel without a cause, but soon you'll have a cause. Interesting. Okay. So that was that, and thank you for spending your time with me. Maybe we'll see you in a future reading. Bye now. I picked two. You picked this shell. This is your reading. And we're going to start out with my index cards of healing notes. And you might have also picked pile one. So one of the cards came out the same, but let's see. And that doesn't mean this message isn't just as pertinent as the first one, but we're going to look at a different aspect that may be pertinent for other people that didn't choose pile one. So let's see. Okay. The first one that came out is surrender the will, flow with life, take inspired action, let obsessions go, allow joy to emerge, add love to every situation, fear equals add love. I'm going to read them all and then get the idea of what this is. How can you, what can you do to improve upon your authenticity at this time? This says, I'm being very vulnerable, just so you know, by reading these, because I don't even know what these say, because I haven't looked at them in years. So let's see. Number 5, about myself. I am lacking in energy for life. New beliefs. 1, I always have enough money to do what I want. 2, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. 3, success makes me feel happy and healthy. 4, everyone wants peace on earth. 5, I have ambition and zest for life. And then on the other side of that it says, most limiting beliefs. Oh, okay. So that was the second side. Now this is the first side. And that was one of my most limiting beliefs. So here are the first 4. 1, about money. I don't have enough money to do what I want. 2, about relationships. My boyfriend wishes I was different. 3, about success. It's stressful and draining and makes you a target. 4, about my dream. No one will believe me. Okay, we've got a couple more cards here, so we'll just keep going and I'll get the gist by then. These are beliefs that I had listed so that I could change them. Confidence, health, joy, laughter, creativity, enough energy and desire to help others, be in water daily. This was like my to-do list. And here we have low, corticotropin releasing hormone. High, amatontidine. I don't know these words, but they're like scientific words for some of the chemicals that are in our brain. And I was apparently low on that one and high on those. And I was also low on carnosine, ethoxyquin, glutathione, rosemono, vitamin K, and high on quercetin, glycine, vanillin, magnesium sulfate. So, I'll just show you that. Okay. Alright. So, let's see. I feel like what this is talking about is being more authentic about struggles and mental health issues, and perhaps what you go through to keep yourself going. There may be a need for resources in your body to help bring things into balance. You may need to look at what your priorities are and what your values are. And maybe you have certain limiting beliefs and you've been operating under them. Maybe being honest about that. Like, it's like the human condition, Being honest and open about your goals, about your current condition, and about what you're doing to work towards success for yourself. There was something here where I had a belief that being successful is stressful and draining and makes you a target. So if there are people in your life that you don't trust to be around you when you get successful, maybe there's something there where you need to be more authentic with yourself about how you feel about the people surrounding you. As far as like lacking money and things like that, I would say focus on gratitude for what you do have. Letting yourself be in the receiving mode, right? Because if the belief is, oh, I need to work hard for money, it actually is a belief that will limit you. Like when you can't work hard, when your energy is low or things like that, could cut your money off. When in fact, there are beliefs, you could believe that you can make money just for being who you are. And then even if you're tired, you can still make money. About relationships. Maybe you think that someone wishes you were different. Maybe you wish you were different. And maybe that's something to look at. If you wish you were different, it's okay. But if you accept the part of you that thinks that wishes you were different, accept and love that part of you, then it can be with you. And then you can understand it. And then when it joins you, it's not just with you, it's not just with itself anymore, it's with all of you and all the parts of you that have traversed everything, that know all the other things that there is to know that you know. And what was that fifth belief? I'm lacking in energy for life. Okay. So this is just about building up the resources you need, resting when you need to, and having the resources to move when you are ready. So this is checking in with your body. What do you need? Do Do you need to feed it well? Do you need to cut something out? Do you need to give it more rest? Do you need to spend some time meditating? Do you need to tap things out? Do you need to hug a tree? Do you need to get barefoot on the ground? And all of the solutions to all of these things are actually right there. It's just that they've been blocked by certain limitations that you've placed on yourself. And one of them might be that you're suffering from a chemical imbalance. That can be, you can be the source of those chemicals in your own body. You can replace anything that is needed. You just have to prioritize it. So then your inspiration will be a lot easier to hear. Okay? Yeah. You'll easily let the things go that you need to let go of in favor of the things that you want to be doing, because you've been inspired to do it, because you heard more clearly, because you weren't trying to do all these other things or worry about all these other things. Like, if you believe that success will be making your life harder, then you're going to sabotage yourself on everything that would make you successful. And you will not hear the inspired action to take. Because the inspired action to take is going to get you to the success that you want. Okay. There's some illusions here. I think you have maybe adopted a coping mechanism that puts you in being in service to others, so that they would find you valuable, and that you would have your place in the pecking order, I want to say. It's important to maybe forgive yourself or someone else who modeled that for you. You may have felt like haunted lately, like by deceased loved ones or ghosts in your house or something like that. Like something's trying to get your attention. And you may see a lot of your issues, like this self-sabotage. You may not even see it in yourself. You may see it in someone else instead. You may consider somebody your nemesis. And the traits that you see in them are actually ones that you have disowned for yourself. Maybe you are not those things, but you judge them. Maybe the judgment that you hold is the thing that needs your acceptance and love. Maybe you have deemed somebody a nemesis because they are being authentic and they are showing how they've transcended certain things, and you haven't been able to transcend them, and so you've held resentment towards them. And so forgive yourself for that, and forgive yourself for telling yourself the stories that you did tell about what needed to happen and what was limiting you. And yeah. I just want to see if there's anything else in this deck. Huh. Wow. So freaking perfect. I love when that happens. This is just a one-sided one, and all it says is, raise standards. My temple, treat it that way. So this is a note where I was telling myself, I need to raise my standards on how I treat my temple. This is my temple. So this was probably years ago when I started eating like very healthy, very clean, treating my body very well. I let myself eat a lot of gluten lately, and yeah, I was hoping to just like transmute the whatever it was in me that was not tolerating the gluten. But it's slow going if that's what I'm doing. So like even seeing this now for my own self is making me realize, oh yeah, this is my temple. Why do I want to test it out? Why do I want to test out gluten intolerance on it when there's plenty of things that I know I enjoy that don't include gluten? And it's already given me the flags about gluten. So maybe your body has been giving you hints. Maybe it hasn't been tolerating things like the way it used to, you know? Okay. Well, I hope that is helpful to you. Pick 2. It seems like what you can do to improve your authenticity is to take a look at the stories and the limiting beliefs that you have for yourself, and accept the parts of you that feel those ways. You can 0 point an energy by accepting it, but then looking at 3 reasons why the opposite is also true. And if you do that on every energy, you balance it out into a way where you can see past it. And then you can prioritize your values, and then you'll be in a position to hear your guidance much more easily. Your inspired action to take towards what your goals are, which will be much easier to distinguish having prioritized them through your values. Okay, just peeking out here to see if that was plow truck coming up my driveway or not. I think it was one on the main road. Okay. Am I wrong? I hear it. I guess I'll know in a moment. My car's all cleared off and waiting for him, so we're okay. Alright. Pick 3. If you chose pick 3, this is your reading. We're looking at what can you do to improve upon your authenticity at this time. And that's just because this is the time to do it. It wasn't like you were doing anything wrong before now. This isn't to shame or blame you or anything like that. It's just that we're all becoming more authentic as days go by here. And it's just one way of wording things. Okay, a bunch of these flew out and I'm just going to look at them all. Alright, so this came out, and this came out in another pile as well, but I'm just going to stick with it because I trust Spirit and I trust my Oracle. This is a card that I did not write. It says my name, Julie. Someone I love very much wrote this for me. It says, Julie is a popular Latin first name, which originally comes from the Latin Julia, which could mean youthful, soft-haired, beautiful, or vivacious. It is the feminine form of Julius, and can be a pet form of Julia or Juliet. Okay, so that has sentimental value for me, but I don't feel that that's the significance of it in this reading. I feel like it's talking about the meaning of your name, like literally. There may be something in the numerology of your name that is significant. If you look up on Google, like just search for free numerology calculators, you can see all different ways where you can calculate your name to see the numerology for it. It says, message with tarot reading. Allow message to impart itself upon you. Sit quietly with it and your intuition. Kind of getting the picture here. Let's see. Bioacoustics. About bioacoustics, tapping, Abraham Hicks, growth mindset, TED Talks and links, tools page, what is your body, tarot, binaural beats, oh I know what this is, Reiki, sales, useful apps, epigenetics, astrology. Okay, so I'll just show you this page. What this is the notes that I made about making my very first website, which is not the website that I have now listed below, by the way. Not my first website either, actually, to be honest. It was like my third website or something. My first website was originalgreetings.org, and I used to sell custom made original greeting cards. That was my first business. And so this one was just for my energy healing and things like that, and I was making a web page about all the resources there are out there for people, and I wanted to put them in one place for people. It says spiritual teachers, and I was going to list them all: sacred geometry, human design, numerology. There is numerology again. Services, adjust price, anchor, group services, adjust product price, eliminate entry page, $9.99 or $8.88. I guess those are the prices that I was considering listing at. Of course, these were years ago. Okay, so resources there. Let me keep going because there's quite a few here. Free, extrasensory, inspired information for living happily. I think that was a title that I was going to maybe use on that website. Free, extrasensory, inspired information for living happily. Yeah. Because all of the information that I had gathered and that I had learned from to get me here was from people who were extrasensory like me, who weren't just doing the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth and touch, you know, that like we were acknowledging there's something else here. Love myself fully, unconditionally, joyfully. Take action to accomplish goal. Add rituals to match this. Work out. They serve others. Have fun. They give themselves so much they never feel the need from others. They express themselves. I don't know why I've worded it that way. Those are terrible notes in my opinion. But it looks like I was assessing the reasons to love myself. To work out, to have fun, but it was because I wanted to help others. I wanted to have fun to help others. It's funny. I was, in the beginning of my journey, I was quite a people pleaser. Full control and understanding of my emotions, these are goals, living through my heart, access to all memories, focused on the big picture. I wrote down these things that I wanted for myself. And here's more. Totally in love with my vessel, in gratitude for life, self-sufficient, be sexy, be attractive, be content. Oh boy. Act on choices I am afraid to admit. To trust, I'm just going to say it because I'm about to show you the card, you'll know. Michael. To not live with my kids. To eat fully raw. Being vulnerable with others. To be active and get my own life. To express publicly. So I was afraid to admit that I wanted to express publicly, that I didn't want to live with my kids, that I wanted to eat fully raw, because that would admit that I wasn't eating the best, right? To be vulnerable with others, and to be active and get my own life. Like, I would have never told anyone that I wanted to get a life. And I would have never told anyone that I wanted to trust Michael, because that would imply that I didn't. Michael was the ex. Michael was the then boyfriend. And by the way, I never did learn to trust him, and I shouldn't have. So that is interesting, and that's the second time in reading these goals that I've noticed that I would never choose something. Like, I wouldn't choose to trust him now, and I also wouldn't choose access to all my memories either, because now I understand that I only remember the things I need to know. I mean, losing my memory was not the worst thing in the world. It's actually part of the design, and it's beautiful. Here we have some more calculating, where I've written the answers to something from a book onto this instead of writing it in the book. And this is about disempowered and empowered, and it's about power plays. videos, birthday prep, Amelia, boys, plan, old mill properties, email, housing, call Social Security. Interesting. This was a to-do list. And I am not proud of blank. Oh shit. Well, luckily I didn't fill this in. There are options. What are they? Make bold choices fearfully. Oh, interesting. So this was just like more guidance for myself. I was going to be willing to look at what I wasn't proud of. I mean, now if you hear me talk, I don't even talk about pride. I don't think pride is the best thing because it caps us. I say honor above pride now. It is okay to be jealous and untrusting. And so to admit these things is to be able to grow through them and learn, right? So if we are jealous, if we are untrusting, and we can't admit it, then we can't change it. We're definitely not going to be changing anything that we can't admit, right? So yeah. All right, 2 more here. The fracturing when taken with negative response victim. Hard to see the gift in it. So this is when we come in and we have these experiences and we get fragmented. So the energy starts looping in our energy. That if we interpret it in a negative way, then we feel victimized by that energy. Hard to see the gift in it. But there is a gift, right? There is a hidden benefit anytime we even feel disempowered or victimized. Taurus, how will I survive kicks in. Causes confusion, insecure feeling. Where there is fear is where the choice must be made. These are 2 different cards. They were stuck together. Make choices towards self-care. 29th degree on own. Fixation, Scorpio versus objectification, Aquarius. Source. Law of impermanence. Losing objectivity. Liberate from fixation. Aquarius. Inconjunct Cancer, Virgo. Chases how we feel emotionally in the moment. Changes how we feel in the moment. So this is just some notes on astrology aspects that were apparently in my own chart. That was on the back of the fracturing when taken with negative response victim. And then here, this one is just like literally a half a card with no writing on it. So I'm going to take that out, but for now we'll take it as a lot of like confusion. Okay, so I know we've taken a lot of time to look at these and they haven't like come to a cohesive message, but hopefully they've been like hitting you off in certain ways or making you kind of get a picture of yourself when you try to apply it, right? And you may still be reaching, I feel that, right? And I feel like that's what this is. It's like showing you that you are kind of always like maybe in a lot of different directions reaching for answers and trying to do the right thing and trying to be good and trying to be better. And maybe you are addicted to self-help in a way. Maybe you're being pulled in a lot of directions on just trying to be perfect and trying to do the right thing. And you may be like doing shadow work and just really loving it and just like devouring knowledge and learning more and more and more, and like you might be really, really busy. You may be keeping it all to yourself. Alright, so one thing we saw is some of the things you want now may not be important to you at another time. Okay? So looking at the reason you want things. Because if you're trying to do shadow work because you want to eliminate your shadow, and not because you want to care about yourself and love yourself and because it's the right time to do it, then that's going to get you different results, right? Tell me more about what's going on here, Spirit. Am I on the right track here? I really want my water bottle over there. A lot of the stuff that you've been basing what you do on is from the past. And the past is not relevant now. So if you're trying to keep track of things from the past by writing them down, it may be time to let them go. Let everything go and start with what's in front of you. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. It's too much. You're carrying too much, and it's like too many balls up in the air, and they are going to drop because your soul wants you to, go towards what's important. So you got to decide what that is. Especially in relationships with other people. You have a certain soul plan, and maybe you prefer to be free, but I think there's something where there's a relationship you've been committed to or will be committing to, and it's going to be very important for you to look at it from the higher perspective. So what's in the past is in the past. No need to keep it with you. None of it. None of it about the relationship, none of it about what you were working on, because we've just kind of I wanted to say converged timelines, but we've just kind of like switched over, and things have changed from the original plans that we all had like a few years ago. Like if you've been on this spiritual journey for a long time, and you got some downloads a while ago and you're still living by those downloads, then perhaps it's time to let them go and revisit and look again, and just deal with what's in front of you to get the new inspiration, because everything's been renegotiated at this point. And you may still be looking at some things through the eyes of lack because they haven't come to fruition yet, but it's because those aren't actually your soul's plan anymore. You're actually pioneering something with that free will energy. And anywhere, maybe it was like expectations of others or expectation you had on yourself because of your parents' influence, or expectation you had on your children. But there is a need to let go of that. Let go of punishing yourself or your children, or looking to them to achieve certain things in order for you to be proud. We did touch on how I've been talking about honor above pride. And it's because pride caps us. Pride, if you look at the hierarchy of vibrations through emotion, pride caps us. We can't get into the higher realm, so you can't get the new download and the new inspiration for what your soul really wants to go towards. And you've got a lot on your plate that doesn't have to be there anymore. You got 14 days here for a time period, and Damocles, you don't know the risk of what you're doing right now. You don't know the risk of surrounding yourself with what you've surrounded yourself with. Whether it be people, whether it be plans. People, I heard. There's something where you are supposed to ground something and come together, though. Something that you haven't been there before. Something that's going to take your fire, your passion to lead you into. Because if you're busy planning and doing all this stuff, that's not what's going to get you there. Yeah, look around your environment. What is it in your environment that is not worth the risk you're putting yourself in? His angel's guiding you. So even if you've been capped at pride or something, angels are still guiding you. You're still getting messages. You're still being communicated with to, maybe it's through other people. Maybe it's like this reading, you know. Maybe if you're doing other readings. Yeah, what you're about to step into is the unknown. So you don't, I mean, there's a lot of chaos that might come through. And it may affect your human family and how you relate to them. And maybe it's like you've been trying to protect that, but it's actually like your soul's calling. You have a plan with your soul. And what you're staying in is lack, because you haven't allowed yourself to open up, because you've been busy trying to like tie up all these loose ends. But the loose ends, not all of them are relevant anymore. You have to kind of go inward and ask yourself why, and then let your passion kind of lead you. That's very interesting. Or maybe you have been letting your passion lead you. Why are you passionate about this? Yeah, you've been very devoted. But it's time to build a rainbow bridge. You have a past life connection with what you're trying to do now. It came from a past life. You are transcending things. Ooh, Aphrodite. The goddess of love. What you've been doing. Yeah, that's okay. So there's a relationship with someone who you consider a goddess, perhaps, as a goddess to you, that you've committed to, maybe, in a way. And the stuck feelings that you have in there are affecting your health now. So you got to deal with the feelings and not all the busy to-do list. Okay? Okay. I feel like that was so scattered. Your brain must be so busy. And so, like, whew. Lord, give me a break. That's what I feel like saying from all that, you know? Like, reading those notes, like, all of them, as we were reading more and more and more and more, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like from all aspects, all angles, all... That's Gemini energy for sure. Okay. It's okay. It's a beautiful thing. I enjoyed the glimpse of it. And also glad to tell you that some of that can be put down, because it's just like the simplicity that can be had to get you to where you want to go. And that's where you want to be when you're heading to open up Pandora's box, because you want to be able to hear your angels. So accept whatever it is that you're feeling, about whatever it is that you're feeling, right? You don't have to be calculating, you don't have to be prideful, you don't have to be worried about your success so much. You just have to be with yourself. Your to-do list, you know, reprioritize it. Are those things really important to you? It's like, if I'm looking at this as a to-do list, it's like, I mean, I don't even know what that means. Like, I have names here, boys, is plan, is... It's like, those are unnecessary things. It's like the email and the call, it's like, just do those things and then they'll be off the list, right? Boy, I hope that's helpful, and I hope that you understand that this is Spirit's way of kind of letting you off the hook for being so busy. You can be more authentic when you're not so busy. When you're not so busy trying to figure out all the factors, consider all the things. Okay? Hope that is helpful to you. Pick 3. We are going to move on to pick 4. If you chose pick 4, here is your reading. Hold on one moment though, I'm just going to get some water. Okay, pick 4. Starting right out here with my my note cards from my healing journey. Free extrasensory inspired information for living happily. Message with tarot. Allow message to impart itself upon you. Sit quietly with it. Find your intuition. So maybe you've been getting some guidance and looking to others outside of yourself that are intuitive, and also practicing with your own intuition. Maybe you've been offering a lot of information to others for free. Yeah. Helping others find their way to happiness. I think you are an intuitive, a guide. Okay, Spirit, let us know what can pick 4 do to improve upon their authenticity. I don't think there's anything from this deck. I'm going to switch to this one. This is just the bigger cards. These are all just like old things, notes that I wrote along my journey over the years. That is too many. Alright, we're going to take them. Let's see. What can I do for others? Shine my light, be confident. Encourage happiness. Productivity will ensue. It's interesting because these are the same things that those other cards basically said, right? Punishment and reward program. Parent is unhappy when forced to punish. Parent is happy to offer reward. Rewarding innate things. No control or effort. It's like saying, like, I'll reward you because you're pretty. Training into habit. Certain behaviors which ignore our internal guidance system. Yeah. We've been trained into habit of doing things that are against what our internal guidance says to do. So we start running on programs instead of being led by our trueness, okay? So maybe one of your programs is about helping. Happy. About being happy, about helping people be happy. Like, this is the 3rd time happiness has come up in this reading. In this way it says parent is unhappy when forced to punish. Maybe you don't like to punish people. Maybe you want to make people happy. Maybe you've been trained into making people happy. Let's see what else. Black obsidian, black speckled, psychic cleanser, protection, shield for negativity, grounding to earth, release disharmony, fear, anger. Black onyx, black and shiny, gives strength, stamina, happiness, self-confidence, good fortune, banishes grief, enhances self-control. Tiger eye, golden bands, travel with this stone, balances the brain, protection, self-confidence, willpower, grounding, prosperity, clarity. Rhodonite, pink speckles, compassion, forgiveness, emotional healing, balance emotions, gives calmness, dissipates fear and anger. So these are some crystals. You may be into crystals. Maybe you... what came to mind is I have this friend, she called... What was she calling me? Like the crystal lady or something like that. And I've sold crystals, you know, and that's why I actually looked up what the metaphysical correlations for crystals were, because I wanted to know, so that if people asked or told me what they were looking to use the crystal for, I could have an idea of what to give them, or to help them with. But I never considered myself a crystal lady or an expert, or knowing how to identify every crystal or anything. Like I know the basic ones. So that's the feeling I got, is like maybe you have this image of knowing certain things that you actually just have the knowledge of, not the wisdom gained or something like that. I mean, it's like people think you know more than you know. You're just recycling information at this point sometimes. And it is the equivalent to a virus running rampant through our consciousness. Okay. Look at it, face it, feel it, and heal it. Harbor full acceptance for yourself, and while it won't matter if anyone else accepts you, they will. Make that the virus you spread. Can you feel how vulnerable it feels to decide that you can only be happy if someone else acts in a certain way? Can you feel how vulnerable it feels to believe that you must act on a certain way in order for someone else to be happy with you? This is pride. This is a hostage situation. This is a victim vibration. Know that each of us have an authentic self waiting to be lived. If you have to make people happy, that's a hostage situation. Let's see what else. Sun, 6th house, solves conflict, win over things creatively. Love, an unconditional force vibrating at the frequency of source. Contemplate, daydreaming strictly for the pleasure. Experience gratitude, feel the fantasy. So maybe you have been utilizing fantasy and imagination and using creative means to solve things and win people over, win things over. My new name, selenite, moon, amethystine, Julia, lily moon, lotus moon, phoenix. I mean, what? I don't know, man. I mean, I can't remember doing this, but maybe you, obviously I did, but maybe you have felt like you wanted to step into a new identity, or have been holding yourself into an identity that's not meant for you, or isn't yours anymore. Self-discipline, eat healthy, exclude things that don't serve me in my best interest. Sugar, meat, dairy, those are the things I'm excluding. Build strength, exercise, mindfulness, change subconscious, meditate. Every day do something you feel passion for. Work for self and greater good of humanity. Okay? I feel like, yeah, there's a lot about being in service here, about helping others, about just being very selfless in a way. And especially being selfless when you like here I was taking on someone else's name, or just changing my name. Talk about selfless, you know. We have a mystery card here, a blank, which usually would go with the blanks. I have some blanks over there. I'm going to keep it in the reading for now. So maybe you've known that you didn't know everything, but you've just been doing your best with what you have known. Healing and releasing. Things I've been safe to experience. Death of my father. Oh boy. Witness of death of my father. Inadvertently assisting the death of my father. Separation from mother in infancy. Homelessness. Mental illness. Suicidal ideation. Depression. By something, dysmorphia, fibromyalgia, borderline, agoraphobia. Two of these I can't read. I will show you. Despair, victimhood, anger, fear, frustration. Doctors, family diagnosis, repeated liver failure, loneliness, being alone at times of need. Okay. So these are all things that I've experienced and lived through, right? So I was safe to experience them. I didn't die through any of that stuff, you know, as difficult as it was. So I came to a point where I said, I'm going to heal and release these things. I've been safe to experience them, and now I need to be in my, you know, safety of my surroundings now, let myself feel the things that I need to feel about them. Okay? Maybe you're helping other people do these type things too. On the back it says, oh, there's more things. Rejection, being excluded, name-called, shamed, confusion, ego acts, selfishness, giving up, forgetting, failing, lowering standards, heartbreak, children being taken from me, watching children be abused, fighting for my justice, no justice, being treated like I'm insignificant, crazy, unimportant, borderline fits, wanting to die, wanting attention, feeling empty, feeling alone, misunderstood. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that I admitted to, that I experienced, that I survived and lived through. And maybe what I feel is maybe there is a bunch of stuff that you haven't quite dealt with yet, but you've been busy helping other people. And it hasn't been wrong that you've helped other people. And I don't think that we need to be perfect before we help other people. But maybe it's like more authentic would be showing them these type things. Helping them with these type things. So first, make sure you've helped yourself through these type things, and maybe you have. But being authentic and more open about some of those type things. Not being so selfless. Tending to self first. And not because it was wrong the way you've done it up to this point, but because it's time. Okay, tell us about what led us here, Spirit, please. Yeah, wow, you're quite amazing. Look how strong you are to have kept up with things, you know, at the rate you have been at. Having been through quite a bit, I get the sense, right? Because here I am reading you this list of things that I wrote years ago, and it's like, I don't feel like you'd be like shocked at those things, you know? I feel like you've been through some difficult things. So you brought some of these experiences in from past life in order to take care of them now. You've been guided and helped with angels. This is the timing to do it. Like, everything's been in divine timing, perfect timing. You are an unconditionally loving person, and this is why you are able to do this. And this is just about, like we talked on one of the notes there before about punishment and reward parenting, it's about the way that you were parented and maybe trained into pride and feeling pride and wanting to please and have someone be proud of you. And maybe you've put a lot of your pleasure and enjoyment of life on a back burner. Maybe you've let yourself be in situations where you weren't compatible because you were trained out of your selfhood. You were selfless, so since you were selfless, it didn't matter about compatibility. It was put on a back burner. Yeah, I feel like you've accepted a lot of this stuff. You're well in process, and so it's not like I know about this, now I want to feel a new way about it. It's a step-by-step process. There's more layers of some of these things. There's just more layers of some of these same things. That's it. But this is the turning point for you. And this will affect your relationships and possibly make you more compatible in your relationships and allow you to reconcile some of the relationships you've been in. Allow you to celebrate and feel complete. Integrate some of those ways that you felt and the ways that have kept you in hope instead of faith, right? You're going to bridge the gap between hope and faith. You're quite a person here. It's beautiful that you are in service and that you are so loving and that you want to put that to work. And all it means is like now it's time to go inward, take some steps inward to let yourself feel and be loved the same way you've done for others. And then possibly even you'll be lined up with helping some people who have been through some of that more difficult, darker stuff, because you will be able to shine the light on that in a way that is authentic and helpful, having already traversed it. Wow. Well, I hope that's helpful, Pile 4. Really, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you do. Really appreciate it. You know, you may be a reader like me, and but you're definitely an intuitive. You're definitely a healer, and you are definitely a caring, loving, big-hearted person. So thank you. And perhaps we will see you in a future reading. I'm going to move on to pick number 5. Okay, pick number 5. You chose this shell. This is your reading. And we're starting out with my index cards here that I put notes on for my healing throughout the years. Now I know what some of them say, but I hadn't looked at them in years. Everyone is doing the best they can. If they could do better, they would. Everything is as it should be in this moment. So we're asking Spirit, what can pick 5 do to help themselves be more authentic at this time? You may only have half the picture on some people that you've been looking at. Like maybe you can only see half of the story and you've had to make assessments on that. Love myself fully, unconditionally, joyfully. Take action to accomplish goal. Add rituals to match this. Work out. Have fun. Express myself. They serve others. They give themselves so much they never feel they need from another. This is talking about successful people. I'm not proud of. So looking at the things that you're not proud of, the things that where you feel like you felt short, these are options. What are they? These are options. What are they? Make bold choices fearfully. I don't know exactly what that is, but make choices towards self-care. It's okay to be jealous and untrusting. Okay. So I think there are some places in your life where you have looked at people, right, and made an assessment about them, and perhaps wanted to feel better about yourself, and so maybe placed a judgment on them. You projected something onto others when in fact they are doing their best. They could do better, they would. You only know half the story, and they're never better than you. Like, no one's better than you. No one's worse than you. We're all, just on our own path. Whatever you feel, like maybe it's jealous or untrusting towards people that have demonstrated certain behaviors. This is okay to feel. It's okay to accept and love the part of you that feels it. And when you do, you're not going to have to look at that person in that way again. You're probably going to see them a lot different. There's a card here that says, act on choices I am afraid to admit. So look at the things that you're afraid to admit to yourself, right? And from there, you know what to go towards, because those are the places that you haven't loved in yourself yet. And now how you're acting is in ways that avoid making you have to admit these things that are uncomfortable for you. Okay? Like no one wants to say, oh, I'm jealous of you, so I'm gonna try to knock you down a peg. You know? It's not like that. It's like within the quiet moments within yourself, you say, I feel jealous. Why do I feel jealous? It's okay that I feel jealous. Oh, yeah, I feel intimidated and threatened. I feel like I can't have that thing that they have. I feel like I want that thing. And oh, and there's a part of me that doesn't realize that I could just get that thing myself. So let's have compassion for me in that part of me. It's okay to think that. It's okay. I understand. It looks so easy. They make it look so easy. Their life has been different than ours. Yeah, they have had different experiences. I understand why you feel that way, because no one showed you that it could be done besides them. And you didn't know enough about them to know how they got there. So you made a story, and you made it so you wouldn't have to feel the discomfort of not having what you want. Okay, but now it's okay to feel that way. So now the jealous part of me can be with me. It's okay to be jealous. I accept and love the part of me that's jealous. And I'd also like to tell that part of me that we can have what we want. We can work toward our own goals, and just because someone else already has it doesn't mean that we can't have it too. Even if it's a person, right? Even if it's a specific person, it doesn't, you don't know that there's not another person kind of like that, you know, but better, more compatible, something like that. You know what I mean? God has this thing orchestrated. He really does. So this is about loving the parts of you that have projected pain in the form of judgment onto others. And it's a part of you that hasn't been willing to, or able to, or it hasn't been time to admit those things to yourself about how you feel about yourself. So you're going to want to look at a list of the things that you want to do for yourself. You know, first the things, admit these things, but then look at the things you want to do for yourself. You want to enjoy life. This is just about shifting your perception. And the way you felt has been that way for a long time, and you've been manifesting your life based on how you felt. So because you have a part of you that was jealous and you didn't want to feel it, so you always saw it in that person by putting that person down or judging them, you were always manifesting someone that you could see that in outside of you, because you weren't willing to take it within yourself. So now that you have taken it within yourself, you don't have to manifest somebody who's in that role, like that, playing that part for you. You know, now you're open to other people. And now you're going to line up with what you deserve a lot easier, right? It's time to, it's like, maybe you thought it was too late on some things. Maybe you thought you just had to work harder, work harder, work harder. But actually it's just a shift in your perception that's going to change everything for you. The shift in your perception is going to allow you a new way to feel. And then you will be led where you need to go, to be with who you need to be with, to be in relationship with who you need to be in relationship with. You'll easily see the truth of matters when you're not looking through the lens of your own judgments. So these were self-abuses, really, and abuses on others. Like you may have even put yourself to work so hard and long, you know, that you wore yourself out in a way, and that could have been abuse. But this is a turning point for you. A turning point on lying to yourself, or maybe even taking from others what you didn't know you could have for yourself. And you may have done it in a crafty way. You may have done it through magic. You may have been sending evil eye or something like that to others, you know. You may have been spying on others through readings and things like that. You may have had an easier time acknowledging other people's flaws than your own, right? And over 9 to 10 months is the period of time. So it's like it's been gestating for a while, whatever change this is. You've been seeing things through the lens of lack and wearing a mask about the things that you don't accept in yourself. But now it's just time to look at it a different way. You're going to be fine. You're doing fine. Nothing's gone wrong here, right? It's not that you did anything wrong. It's that this is the way humans work. When we can't see something in ourselves, we'll see it in someone else. And until it's time for us to shift that, we're going to keep doing it that way. And now it's just time. You may be helped by crystals, or you may be using crystals in your crafting. Okay. Okay. Pick 5. I hope this is helpful to you in some way. I just want to really stress that this isn't about shaming or blaming you or saying you're doing it wrong or anything like that. I understand that this might have even made you want to dislike the video, and that's totally fine, and I understand. I just want to really let you know that everyone's doing their best, even you, right? Like, even me. We're all doing our best here. Like, we can't do better than our best. And our best is always what we're doing. If we could do better, we would have, right? So it takes will to change what we're doing. It takes drive. It takes understanding. It takes a lot of ingredients. And if those ingredients aren't present, then that is the best we can do, right? It's by human nature that we project upon others, so it's not wrong that you have done that. It's not wrong that you've tried to change things with your magic and manifesting, but things are going to get a lot easier for you as you withdraw your projections, integrate into you the parts of you that you haven't loved yet, the parts of you that have felt those ways that you haven't yet accepted. And once you do, you're going to feel a lot better, because your clarity is going to be there. You're not going to be seeing through the lens of all these distortions and fragments. And you'll be closer in line with who you really are. Okay, so you'll hear your own guidance and your own ability to achieve what you want to achieve much easier. I hope that this is helpful to you, okay? And maybe we get to see each other again in the future. Take care.